Come on, Joe. We gotta get this done. I said leave me alone, you bastard. I said I was sorry. It's not... You bastard, you left me here. You could have taken me with you. It was an emergency. Screw you. Hello, YouTube. This is shintigercurl here again, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you another wrestling review. Normally I would be joined by Joe, but he's being a bit of a pill. Mostly because, real talk, I was watching Raw, and my dad came in and asked me to go to the washroom to smell something, and he said he smelled gas, and it was a pretty strong whiff of gas. So I go back in thinking that he probably knocked something over, he probably has to replace it, and he comes back in and he says, we gotta go. So we basically just packed what we could and just left. Don't worry, we had the center point manager came out and pretty much fixed the problems, but I missed a good chunk of Raw. But still, normally I would not do a review where I missed a little bit of the show, but I did catch the end, and the end was worth the review. Anyway, Joe's mad at me because I left him behind. I said I was sorry, and he's flipping me off. How a bobblehead with his hands in his pocket can do that, I don't know. But anyway, let's get to the show. As you know, last night CM Punk defeated John Cena, and as he walked out of the WWE with the belt. Vince McMahon comes in, flanked by Johnny Ace, who says that he will not want to hear that name CM Punk ever again. The fans are still hot for Punk. He says that tonight the situation must be rectified. So tonight we're having a one-night tournament to decide who will be the next WWE champion. 8 superstars, 1 chance. Let's see how they go. I got sort of my notes. So anyway, the first matchup is Miz versus Alex Riley. Now, Miz is still favoring his ankle, his knee, which got fucked up last night after taking a spill off the ladder. So he's basically in this tournament one-legged. This was an okay match, as Riley is still trying to find his in-ring identity. So there's that. Miz beats him clean with the skull-crushing finale. Let's see. Next up, R-Truth versus Jack Swagger. The crowd was really dead for this match because, well, it's heel versus heel. A lot of people are not going to be high on heel versus heel matches. Anyway, R-Truth gets a little bit of cheers. He picks up the win. R-Truth wins. Next matchup, Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. Del Rio comes out in a pretty badass looking car and announces that the Money in the Bank briefcase is just a formality because he will always he'll get the belt. Then Ricardo Rodriguez comes out. Hola, vamos a guapo. Este champion Alberto Del Rio. I missed you, Ricardo. This was an okay match. Nothing to be completely overly excited about. Kofi wins, and Alberto, and so we have our semifinal matchups: Truth versus Ray, and Miz versus Kofi. Anyway, I missed that part. Ray beats his opponent Dolph Ziggler. This is the match, unfortunately, I had to skip out on because gas leak. So yeah, we went over to my aunt's house, and I didn't get a chance to see. I missed the entire match, and I only came in during the Divas. I think it was a tag match or something. I don't know. There were just a bunch of people out there, and Beth Phoenix picked up the win. So it was confusing for me because I just came in on it. Moving on to the next round. It's Miz versus Kofi. Now this was a lot better match than the two of them had This was a lot better match than the 2 semifinal matches that led up to this one. Kofi was really taking it to Miz, and Miz was selling the hell out of that ankle. I mean that knee. Miz somehow was able to pull out a win, much to Michael Cole's delight. Next match, and probably the best in the tournament, Rey Mysterio versus R-Truth. Now these two really took it to each other. They took each other to the limit. Both of them really wanted this title shot. In the end, though, after an amazing match, Rey Mysterio picks up the win. So he stays in the ring. We have our final matchup. Rey Mysterio, The Miz. One of these two men will be WWE Champion. But just before The Miz comes out, Vince McMahon comes out, and might I add, he's wearing a very ugly sport jacket. Ugh. It was like a ball of old Pepto-Bismol. Ugh. But anyway, Vince comes out and says that they're running out of time, so they're just he asks Rey and Miz to postpone their match until next week because there's something he needs to do. Rey and the fans, of course, are upset, but he acquiesces. Vince comes out and says there's something he doesn't want to do because he believes that no one man is bigger than the business. That it's not Hogan, not Bret, not Shawn, not the Rock, not Stone Cold. No one man is bigger than the business. So he decides to call John Cena out and get what they need to do done. Cena comes out, snatches the microphone, and cuts a pretty decent promo as far as he goes, but he's still in that kayfabe. I mean, no one really is going to believe that John Cena is going to get fired. I don't think John Cena is going to get fired, even with all those Twitter messages he made. No way. He makes some stuff about. He starts, I think, doing a little shooting, talking about how Shawn Michaels for years was that guy that screwed Bret, and it followed him his entire career, and it dogged and it ate at him. And then he said, I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy that screwed CM Punk. So if I'm gonna leave, then I'll just if you said you can make another John Cena, well, go ahead, more power to you. I can always be John Cena in another company, brother. Cena, there are so many other places you can go. TNA should not be one of them. Anyway, Vince holds him back and says, you're not going to deny me this, John Cena. And then all of a sudden, Triple H comes out wearing a very classy suit and tie, but he doesn't look the same game that we've known and loved from him. He comes out with a very serious and kind of sad expression on his face. He kind of marches to the ring a little bit in a quick step kind of fashion. He starts talking in Vince's ear. Vince is grinning ear to ear, like, my son-in-law's here, and Hunter's like, no, we're gonna do it. He gives Hunter the microphone. Hunter doesn't want to talk. Hunter says, Vince, I didn't want to have to do this. We got to do this backstage. Like, no, what's up? He starts stuttering a little bit. He says that the board of directors meeting was called earlier today, and he was assigned to be there. Triple H was, and the board made a decision based on the actions that Vince has taken over the past few weeks. They have filed an injunction against Vince McMahon, which pretty much is a cease and desist order for those uneducated. Then Vince is like, what's going on? What do you mean, an injunction against me? And Cena, ironically, is in the background, and he has his mouth slacked open like, big words. I don't understand. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Anyway, Triple H continues on saying that for the good of the business, the board made a decision. Effective immediately, Vince McMahon has been relieved of his position as chairman of the WWE. In essence, Vince has been fired, and Triple H has been named his successor, the one to take care of the day-to-day operations of the WWE. And no words can describe how great this moment is. It was a great bit of drama. I've never seen Triple H look so visibly upset like that. The last time I've seen him so visibly upset was when Shawn Michaels' career came to an end the day after WrestleMania, and you could genuinely see that this upset him. And then Vince was crying to realize that he just lost. He built the company that he built the past 30 some odd years. has just been stripped of his power. The god of the WWE universe has been effectively removed from his position, and Triple H is like, "Sorry, Vince. I love you, Pop." And it's rare to hear those words come out of Triple H, so I think there's some validity to this. And at first the fans are like, "Na na na na, hey hey hey, goodbye," saying the goodbye song. But seeing Vince break down like that, I mean, even even those fans, they just started clapping for him. They just started applauding for Vince and just saying, "Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Vince." And I haven't been online, so I haven't been online for the past couple of hours or so. So I wouldn't know, but this seems pretty much legit. I think this is the moment where Vince McMahon is stepping down. Either that, or they're just playing it. Those two are greater actors than I thought. But there is real emotion right here. I mean, Triple H sees this as the man who was his father-in-law, the man who was training him and grooming him to assume control of this massive empire, and he didn't want to do it this way. He wanted it to be handed to him by Vince himself, not to be done in by a corporate injunction or whatever. But Cena also seems out of place in this. I mean, after it was revealed, Hunter said, "I'm sorry, Vince, but you're not going to fire John Cena." John Cena just goes apeshit, goes outside and just starts slapping hands. It just seemed tacky for him to do that. I mean, this is an end of an era. For the first time in the history of this business, the WWE as a whole is now being run by a non-McMahon. Now, a lot of you will say, "Well, Stone Cold or Eric Bischoff or Donald Trump." No, I'm not talking about just Raw. I'm talking about the company as a whole. The entire business is now in the hands of Mr. Paul Levesque. Mr. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H. And if this is really Vince's way of stepping down, I mean, it's very tastefully done. So I gotta give it up to WWE. They gave us 2 very emotional nights of wrestling. The whole show was filled with wrestling, and to end off with such an event, I don't think anybody saw this coming. People thought that Cena was going to come back and he wasn't going to get fired, blah blah blah. Who gives a fuck about Cena? This was all about Vince McMahon losing control of his company, and I mean, it was just great TV. WWE cannot do any wrong tonight for me, and that just goes to show you. But yeah, that was Raw, and I really can't give you my verdict because I really didn't catch all of it. But I had to comment on it. So anyway, it's still kind of gassy over here, and I got the fan on trying to clear this shit out. So there's that. But anyway, that's Raw. Tune in this Thursday when I try to review Impact. What will be the fallout from Sting becoming world champion yet again? And just a lot of mess to be dealt with. Until then, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe. Joe, come on, Joe, say something. Shuck it long and shuck it hard. See what I have to put up with? Until then, good night and wrestle on. And thank you, Vince.